Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl, but they keep on making moves. What is going on, y'all? 5 Sports Talk. Back at it with another video talking, of course, some NFL here to talk about the Eagles, who have been very active this offseason, and they have pulled off yet another trade, this time with the Carolina Panthers, in which they are sending wide receiver Torrey Smith to the Carolina Panthers for cornerback Daryl Worley. Okay, so here to talk about this trade, give you guys my analysis on it, who won, who lost, why this trade was made from both sides. So let's get into all of that. So let's quickly talk about this trade from the Eagles' perspective. Why did they trade wide receiver Torrey Smith? Well, for one, he was not very productive last season, folks, okay? Torrey Smith is not the same Torrey Smith that he was when he was on the Ravens. We all know this, okay? And with the Eagles last year, yeah, he had some flashes here and there, a nice catch here and there. But overall, you look at his numbers, 36 catches for 430 yards, just very paltry numbers, just absolutely was not the factor and the player that he once was. And clearly we saw Alshon Jeffrey and Nelson Aguilar were much better options than Torrey Smith. And so for the Eagles, moving off of Torrey Smith was not very difficult, but more so than production, this move was made for salary cap purposes, okay, folks? The Philadelphia Eagles are currently over the salary cap, about $10 million over, and Torrey Smith carries a base salary of about $5 million. I think he had a team option actually of $5 million this season. And the Philadelphia Eagles could have just not picked it up and let Torrey Smith go, but instead they found a trade partner for him, and they trade him to the Carolina Panthers, we know now, for cornerback Daryl Worley. And I will say, though, before I talk about him and what he could potentially provide for this defense, let's talk about the cap number here, because Worley only has a cap hit of about $670K, okay? So you're saving about $4.3 million in cap space, and this is bringing down that salary cap that they need to meet by a certain deadline. And so this is more of a salary cap move by the Eagles, just to get under that salary cap number, and that's all they're really looking to do now in terms of the player they acquired. Certainly, this does add some depth. So he is a 2012 third-round pick. He started 25 games for the Panthers, 3 picks and 19 passes defended and 2 sacks. Now, he's an okay cornerback, actually a replacement level, if you will. But will he add depth to this roster? Yes, he will. And like I said, it certainly doesn't help because the Eagles were going to possibly let Torrey Smith go for nothing. So if anything, you're just adding more insurance to your secondary. So I like that from the Eagles standpoint. I think this was a solid trade for them. Let's talk about the Panthers real quick. Torrey Smith, again, like I said, not the player that he once was, but again, one man's trash could be another man's treasure, and the Panthers need a deep threat, okay? They needed a deep threat, and that is one thing Torrey Smith still does. That is really the only good thing about Torrey Smith's skill set. It is he is a deep threat, and Cam Newton has been at his best when he has had a deep threat, when he had that Ted Ginn Jr. on his team, and they're hoping now, the Panthers, that Torrey Smith can provide that. Now, last year they had a lot of injuries, and we saw that Cam, sometimes his best receiver was a running back, Christian McCaffrey, okay? Devin Funchess had a decent year, but it was kind of up and down. Greg Olsen was hurt for most of the season. Kelvin Benjamin, same thing. So with the Panthers, it was important that they needed to get a deep threat, and Torrey Smith is going to provide that for the Panthers. Now, I'm not saying that they're set and this is their wide receiver core. They could still draft a receiver and whatnot, but like I said, Torrey Smith's a proven deep threat option in this league, so it certainly doesn't hurt for them to give Cam a couple more weapons. So all in all, I think both teams got what they wanted, so this was a solid trade for both sides. The Eagles got salary cap space and depth in the secondary, and the Panthers got Cam Newton, a deep threat, which is what they wanted. So let me know what you guys think about this trade. If you agree or disagree, leave a comment down below. Make sure you guys give this video a big thumbs up if you like, and make sure to follow me on my social media. And as always, thanks for subscribing. Thanks for watching.